Well, let me tell you, this legislation is specifically going to provide you access to your medical records at a much faster rate. Okay, it's going to make sure that that your records, because typically right now everything had to be digitized. When we're talking about digitization, any type of C files that veterans had through transition, right? You may have a paper record, you may have a digital record as well. Well, what happened is that they digitized all those files. Okay, all those files were digitized, but now we're finally here. Okay, that began in 2012.
Hello and welcome to the Prepare to Compete podcast. We talk all things VA benefits, real estate, entrepreneurship, and more. Kenneth Davis, how you feeling today, my brother?
Oh man, I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up. There's some huge news that's coming through for veterans, and I want to make sure that they understand and know about these things.
Absolutely. Pumped up ain't the word, man. I see you've been in the gym. You had the New Year's resolution going?
No. I try to keep it everyday thing, or not necessarily every day, but a year, just through the year, because if I get stuck in these resolutions, I'm probably never going to go. So.
All right, for sure. So yeah, today we have an exciting topic for him regarding the VA benefits space. So what we got for him today?
Yeah, man. So it's just been some huge news and everything, all these changes coming around. And like I tell you guys, listen, there's going to be changes amongst the Department of Veterans Affairs on a consistent basis. There's not going to be any change. There's not going to stop changing, okay? Because the world changes, it has to change. But something I think was phenomenal that came about was the specifics of the Wounded Warrior Access Act, okay? So the Wounded Warrior Access Act, what it is, it's legislature, okay, for military veterans to receive their medical files or their veterans file from the VA much quicker, right? A lot of times it's just it's a kind of a bogged down process where you're taking 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year to get your medical records. Well, what do you do in the meantime there? What do you do in the meantime? Most veterans don't know. Most veterans don't know. And now that can almost expire things such as your intent to file, and now we're running around frantic because our intent to file is expired and we don't have the necessary information to get to the VA, right? Because we didn't have our medical records. Well, let me tell you, this legislation is specifically going to provide you access to your medical records at a much faster rate, okay? It's going to make sure that that your records, because typically right now, everything had to be digitized. When we're talking about digitization, any type of C files that veterans had through transition, right? You may have a paper record, you may have a digital record as well. Well, what happened is that they digitized all those files, okay? All those files were digitized, but now we're finally here, okay? That began in 2012.
Wow.
That's when the process really started churning typically, okay? So over a decade, these are how long these things take, right? So now it's been a bipartisan effort that the VA has come up, or Congress has come up to pass a legislation to figure out how veterans can receive some type of portal access to be able to get their records much quicker. I know most veterans think just because you have access to your My Healthy Vet that you have access to your service medical records or e-benefits that you have. Well, I'll tell you right now, you don't.
Right.
You don't. Okay.
Okay. So let me ask you a question here. So we're talking about the Wounded Warrior program. How do veterans become eligible for that? Do they need to serve in a certain branch, or do they need to do certain things to be able to access that?
So no, this is a legislation passed by Congress, okay? This is legislation passed by Congress, and what they have come up with, again, it's not a specific branch, right? It's DoD wide. So if you're a veteran, they're going to be able to get you access to your military service treatment records faster and quicker by accessing it in a digital manner. So this is what, again, this Wounded Warrior Access Act is. Okay,
Okay.
so again, this legislation is huge. You know,
Very much so. So now with that, so now you were talking about the e-benefits, right, and the My Healthy Vet. So what type of information should they expect to be able to gather on those sites?
well, on those sites, you should be able to receive your VA medical records, right? You can access well, typically, you should be able to access, such things as a COE, right? Personnel files at times, but that's a whole nother process that we'll be able to walk through. But with that, those are the kind of the basics that you can be able to pull from them,
Okay.
right? Those are the main records.
Right. So now, so usually you're going to get the records like following your service time, right? From My Healthy Vet. So if I'm a veteran, I go into a medical appointment, then my medical records from those appointments would be there, but not necessarily my service records.
True indeed. True indeed. That's exactly what it is. Because at the end of the day, most veterans are not receiving VA medical care until they're after service. There are exceptions, right? When you have DoD joint ventures where they have to go to a VA medical center to be treated or such things as that nature. But typically, yes, that's how it works.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. So with that, you guys, I want you to understand that this is huge legislation that's coming down because it is a complex process to be able to receive your medical records and receive your C file from the VA. What the C file is, the collection of all your documents that was ever been sent in. So this is going to be able to provide you your service treatment records, again, and receipt of those electronic files. So I want you to go ahead and know that obtaining these records are going to be phenomenal because I will tell you, as a veteran, we move around to different places. So many different things, so many moving parts are coming around, and sometimes those medical records that we should have made a copy of, which again I will always tell, if you go back to the last video, make copies of everything. But that you should have made a copy of is not. We don't have that present with us because it was misplaced, right? So with that being said, all of those records is going to be able to be able to be accessed electronically. So we're really excited about that. Again, this is this is bipartisan support. It's still not fully in legislation, but it's going to come down the pipeline, shooting down the pipeline. So hopefully this will be signed, secured, and we'll have that online platform. So again, and we're going to also make sure that we walk you through on how to be able to retain those records.
Absolutely. So now with this process, right? So, I know you mentioned e-benefits and My Healthy Vet before, which e-benefits is a platform that was kind of going away, right? And transitioning to My Healthy Vet. But so would this new platform actually kind of save time with how long it actually takes to retrieve your medical records?
Well, yes. So in regards, and just to clarify, so when we're talking about e-benefits, My Healthy Vet, a lot of this information is stored within va.gov, right? So they're going away with e-benefits, right? It's going to eventually be officially kind of go away, but right now it's still a platform that you can easily access and so on. But with that, it's going to hopefully, I would think, again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would defer to say that it's going to probably be a source of being able to be developed within va.gov. Okay, so and you'll be able to access it through va.gov, where everything is on one platform where you can be able to access it there. That's what I would prefer. That's what I would defer to say. But again, I don't have a crystal ball, don't know. But what I will say is, I would bet money on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ball head, but not a crystal ball.
They say it tells the future, so
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's great news. And, one of the videos that we had kind of late last year, right, was talking about the backlog, right?
Yeah.
And, medical records is kind of part of why everything is backlogged, because a lot of times veterans can't actually even file their claim until they get their medical records or different things like that. So it's just so many access points there. So hopefully this will kind of help clean up the entire process of our veterans kind of having the information and retrieving the benefits that they deserve.
No, really. And it's just phenomenal because I kind of want everyone to kind of understand when we're talking about these records, if we're talking about Vietnam veterans, Do you think you have a Vietnam veteran that has their records?
No, no.
9 times out of 10, they don't. And they not only is it a chronological footprint in their life, but what it is as well, it is their life, right? So how often can you actually go back and rewind hands of time and see what you were doing medically and also professionally at the age of 22, 21, but you're 67 years old?
Absolutely no.
So that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's a great point. And I know through the organization Veterans for Veterans, we kind of help everyone get their benefits, right, and kind of maximize those benefits that they deserve. And we've helped quite a few Vietnam veterans. And I know some of the issues we kind of ran into with that group, right, because their records are so old in a sense that, you know, all of this internet stuff wasn't around and different things like that. They might not even be in the VA.gov system, right? Yeah. So what type of, I guess, feedback would you have for that individual that's, hey, I'm a Vietnam vet, I'm trying to get access to my records, and I try to set up a portal for VA.gov, and I can't even do that because they have no record of me?
Great question. Well, one, I would say if you're a veteran who needs a little assistance in that, you can always reach out to us. We'll walk you through that. We have the patience time, and we want to make sure that as a veteran that you are assisted first and foremost, because I tell you, it's not as easy as everyone makes it out to be, right? And also another source would be going down to the regional office, your most local regional office, to receive any type of assistance to obtain your medical records. That would be most beneficial, okay? So going to your local regional office to be able to receive your medical records, to request them in something called a four-year request, okay? By law, we have enhanced the four-year request process. They enhanced the four-year request process back in 2016, okay? So enhancing that process, making sure that you're able to receive and access any of records in a federal agency, not just the VA, all federal agencies, okay? So with that being said, you can make that request through the VA at your local regional office. They're not gonna have it on file where they can just hand it to you, but at least you'll know that you made the request.
Absolutely, no, great information there. So yeah, we definitely appreciate this, man, and we'll actually continue to keep you guys updated, right? So if there's any breaking news, we'll continue to keep you updated and give you that information as we receive it. We'll actually start doing a lot more of these legislation and kind of breaking news updates so that you guys kind of stay abreast of what's really going on and just stay well educated. So I appreciate you, Kenneth, regarding that. Did you have any kind of closing remarks for him regarding this topic here?
No, I don't. The only thing I do have, will say, is veterans stay informed. Veterans stay informed, and this is how you stay informed. Veterans for Veterans, we're always going to go ahead and please make sure that you reach out to us. We're always going to provide you as much information as we have. But at the end of the day, please subscribe to Prepare to Compete podcast. We're going to go ahead and share all the knowledge and continue to share this, and you share it to your veteran friends, okay? Because again, it's going to be impactful knowledge that's going to carry over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Kenneth. Continue to focus on getting 1% better each day. Life is a marathon. Prepare to compete. We out. Peace.